Yo, you guys see that? You guys see that? Hold on. Let me put on some glasses. Oh! What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the recent episode of ReZero. So I just wanted to talk about ReZero because, it's been about 4 years since this first season launched, and there's a lot of hype surrounding this series because of just how long it's been since the first since we get a sequel to this series, and people were really hyped because it was a really good concept. Him having this superpower, but he's like, he's thrown into an isekai and he's just a normal human, but he has a little bit of a twist on it. He has a superpower that allows him to kill himself and then come back so he can try to fix the past. But as we start off this episode, we get to see that, it's not all encompassing. We get to see that, his superpower isn't perfect. It's not gonna help him fix everything that he wants to fix in this, this fantasy world of his. And I thought it's like a very realistic take on this anime, because as we've seen through the first season, that he doesn't have anything really going for him. He's just trying to help these people that, they've taken him in, and he's trying to help them he's trying to get Amelia on the throne of this kingdom, right? But there's so many things that need to go down. There's so many politics. There's so many like diplomatic relationships that need to be formed, and he needs to give an incentive. He needs to give power. He needs to give an incentive for these alliances to be formed. And we kind of see that with Crush. After all that thing went down, Felix was like, "Yo, man, why are we still in this alliance with you? You guys don't really have anything to give us." And I just thought that was a pretty good dynamic of ReZero and the politics that are going on in this series. And I think that's really why people are so hyped about it, is because Subaru has to go, out of his way to get these lucrative plots and get these lucrative alliances and trying to set up Amelia in the best position. But as she's a half elf, and the witch's code is after her, it just keeps on happening over and over again. It's just not working out. I got like a kind of a deja vu moment, at the beginning. Like, who is Rem? I was like, really? We're going again? We're doing this again? We're doing this again? Who is Rem? I thought it was a little anticlimactic that doing that thing again, because apparently the Archbishop of Gluttony can, like, if he eats you, he can erase your memories and erase your name. And then I was like, I feel like that was a little bit overdone because we already had the White Whale that did the exact same thing. So I mean, maybe the plot is trying to tell you that even though Subaru has these powers, the witch's cult that is basically against him is so powerful that they're basically tearing his life apart. The power to erase memories and things is a little bit overplayed in this anime right now. I kind of get the idea that they're coming from. I kind of get the narrative that they're trying to put down in this anime, is that Subaru, he could be basically OP because he has this ability to rewind, memory erasing, and things that are like interrupting his superpower. It kind of gets nuanced and mixed up. I feel like what they're trying to portray is that you can't fix everything, and that's kind of what they're starting off the season with, that you can't only fix the past in a certain amount of time. And he can't go back to where he could have saved Rem. He has to live with it, and he has to try to do better. He has to learn from his mistakes and try not to have the same thing happen with the rest of his friends, like Amelia, Ram, and Roswald, and all these people that helped him out in the past. And he has to go on forward in this season and try to change things so it doesn't happen this way. But I thought this first episode of ReZero was really cool, the type of way to look at the whole narrative that they're trying to put. They're trying to like start off real grim and say that Subaru's OP, but he's not that OP. He can't fix everything in this anime, and he's going to have some type of character development so these mistakes can stop happening, and he can, he can eventually get Amelia on the throne, or something of that sort can happen, or maybe one of their friends gets on the throne and they get support from them. And I really think that that's a cool way to look at the anime. He has the ability to rewind and go through the past, but it's kind of saying that time is such a futile thing. You can't really change time, and it's a pretty cool concept to look at. That because every time he tries to change something, he might change Rem's death or something, but then later on something else is happening to like Amelia. So it shows like all the alternative time flows, and it's kind of like this time travel, like 200 IQ stuff going on. And I just think that it's really interesting to see what's going to happen in the future with this season, because they're trying to start it off with a grim realization that Subaru can't change everything. And it's also showing how it's getting into the psychological, it's really damaging his mental health, because he throughout this episode he was looking at the knife and he was just kept on changing. He was kept on like asking himself, what if I could do this? What if I could do this? What if I could torture myself even more by going back to Betelgeuse and trying to change the plot from happening that way? And he just kept on thinking about, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? And I feel like that negative energy that's going on in his mind right now is probably going to boil up and maybe take a dark turn somewhere down during the season. And I also thought it was very weird to see Amelia have this sort of side to her, because in the first season we didn't really see that side of her at all, and all of a sudden she's comforting him and trying to do her best to not hurt him, because everything that she tries to say or tries to remember about Rem, it just ends up hurting him because she has no idea who this person is. And I feel like it's just it's just weird to see that she's all of a sudden she's comforting and trying to her best to be the person that Rem was for him, when in the first season she was being like an authoritarian. She was trying her best to like separate herself or isolate herself from everybody so she can be the best candidate for the throne. But it felt like she had like a different tonal shift. I don't know if this was happened through Subaru, of how like broken he is right now, and she kind of saw that and maybe she wanted to maybe share some empathy with him. I don't know like why she kind of had that tonal shift. Maybe some of you guys can explain it to me in the comments below, but I just don't understand why she kind of went from an authoritarian to like this empathetic person all of a sudden. I feel like that was a really weird switch for her. Kind of like threw me off. I was like, what is going on? Why all of a sudden she's like, oh, I feel you, I understand what's going on with you. It just felt weird for me. And the archbishops, those guys are OP. Like, the guy I feel like they have some sort of ability, like the hidden hand, like the Archbishop of Greed, I think he has the hidden hand, some sort of hidden hand, because when the carriages were going into him, you couldn't see anything that was happening, but they were just getting blown up. And he also did the sort of ability to make Rem like incapacitated, so the gluttony could erase her memories and everything. And it just really shows that Subaru is going to have to, if he wants to get Rem back, he's going to have to go after gluttony. Without gluttony and greed at the same time is a little bit, it's a little bit of too much to chew for just Subaru. So I believe that he's gonna have to muster an army like he did with the Wild Whale, but it's gonna be a lot more intense scenarios for him to foster an alliance with other houses that are in this story, so that he can then go on to maybe exact revenge with Wilhelm on why to try to get back Crush's memories, to try to get back Rem's memories. And I just feel like it's pretty cool to see that, and we're gonna see that this season. And I just don't know. I just don't think he's gonna be able to do that, because how all the tribulations and trials they had to go through to finally beat Betelgeuse, and all of a sudden they're just at this. It's like it's deja vu. They're doing it over again. Nobody knows who Rem is. They have to defeat more archbishops, and Yeah, that's basically all I have to say. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you guys have anything else you want to say about the anime, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.